Hey guys, welcome back to Fantastic Fertility. Today I tried to film outside and it went really terribly wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. I was hoping that it would be nice outside, which it was, and that it would be quiet enough to film, which it wasn't. There were like chainsaws going on in the background, people driving by every 15 seconds, and also my dogs. My two dogs and my cat were constantly like staring out the window at me, like whining, because they could see me outside, but they couldn't be outside with me. So anyway, whole thing was a disaster. And I'm probably never going to try that again because it was not good. But I've learned my lesson. We are inside today. And one thing that I do want to share with you guys is that in my first couple videos, I was kind of more formal because I really wanted to make sure that I was staying on point, on task, as I was explaining FAM, because that's a big thing for people. But I do want to share with you that, you know, in my videos, some might be a little bit more formal and educational, and then others might be a little bit more informal, like this one. And so I hope you guys enjoy. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about period products and self-care during your period. This is a topic that I think hopefully will help to serve a lot of viewers. It might help you find out something new about period products that you may not have known before. And so let's just start off the bat. Let's just start off very basic. So like, what are period products? Period products typically that you would see are things like disposable pads and tampons that you'd see at the store. You know, the ones that come in the huge either boxes or like plastic wrapped bags of disposable items. So those are the typical ones that you'd see most often in the store, right? Pads and tampons that you can take with you, take anywhere, throw away. They're disposable. So that is like one sect of period products, and admittedly, especially in the US, it is a large section. Now, what many people might not even be aware of is that there's actually this huge growing market, and it's really exciting, for reusable menstrual products. And those can include things like reusable menstrual cups, cloth pads, period underwear. So those are like three big ones that come to mind. There are also menstrual discs, and it's kind of similar to a cup, except those are disposable. And so those kind of go into the other section of disposables versus reusables. Now, if you're here on my channel, welcome, especially if you're a new viewer. But on my channel, I love to give people a little bit more information so that they can make informed choices, whether that's to do with their health or their periods or whatever. So what I want to share with you is that although there are so many options for disposable products, there are some incredible, amazing options for reusable products. So let's talk about like the pros and cons about these different items, and then toward the end of the video I want to get in and actually show you what I use for my period care and my self-care during my period, because my period is actually coming up soon. Now, what probably comes first to mind when you think about disposables is probably that they are disposable. So by using those disposable options as a consumer, taking in more plastics, you are discarding more waste. So each time you have a bleed or a period, those items are then going into the trash and then eventually going to a landfill. And so it is creating more waste. And of course you have the element of plastic. Now, a second huge point that a lot of people have no idea about with disposables is that they actually are not regulated. So those different brands of disposable products like pads and tampons, they're not required to disclose what ingredients are used to create their products. So you can have pads and tampons that contain harsh chemicals and materials that can increase risk of infection. They're not breathable, and we just really don't know what is in them necessarily. They're not required to put out information about that. And so that is a big, big deal, especially for something like a tampon or a pad, which you're either putting inside of you. Just think about that for a second. You're putting this thing inside of you for hours at a time, and it's just sitting there its materials in very close contact with your tissues. So that can be really concerning for people. That's when you can start to see things coming up like toxic shock syndrome, which is a very real and very serious potential side effect of using a tampon, which goes inside of you. So what do you do when you start to find out information like that? How do you move forward and potentially find more information, or maybe even change what kind of menstrual products you're using? Well, that's why I'm here today. So I'm here to show you some different options that you can use. So the first thing that a lot of people like, I'm going to show you right here. So the first thing that a lot of people like is actually called a menstrual cup. And thousands of women use this option. It's incredible. Especially if you might be someone who typically would wear a tampon. This is a really great option for you. Now, this one that I'm going to show you today isn't necessarily representative of all the different options they have out there, but this is it right here. I'm just going to hold it up a little bit closer to the camera. Hopefully the camera is focusing on it. So this is a menstrual cup right here. They come in a huge variety of brands, colors, sizes, even designs and shapes to really fit like a huge variety of people. Now the way this is used is it literally is inserted into the vagina, and its purpose is to collect blood into the actual cup itself. And so it's not absorbing anything, typically made of medical grade silicone or natural rubber, but they don't have any materials that can become lodged or stuck inside of you, which could potentially lead to toxic shock syndrome. Now these, you can typically wear them for anywhere between like 4 to 12 hours. They're really versatile. Again, since that risk of toxic shock syndrome is incredibly lowered, you can leave this in for a lot longer, and it's much, much safer. Now, I'm not going to go into like huge detail because there's some other things that I do want to cover in today's video. But if you're interested, menstrual cups are a great alternative to tampons. They're very safe, very effective, and tons of people love them. So go ahead and research more about menstrual cups if you're interested. This brand is called XO Flow, and it can fit a lot. I don't know if it has a measurement on it. I don't know. I think it can fit something like 33 milliliters or 40 milliliters or something around that. I typically only wear this when I go swimming in the summertime because I'm more of a pads girl, and so I don't really like the menstrual cup personally for like every single cycle, but I do love it much more than tampons. Oh my god, so much more than tampons for when I go swimming. So this is a great option. Definitely look into it more. Typically they will come with like a little bag that you can put them in, and so you can just kind of put it in there. So I can get it in there. Boop. Perfect. And then they have a little drawstring, and you can sterilize these. Before your period comes, you sterilize it. You use it throughout your whole period, and then you can sterilize it after by simply boiling it for 5 minutes in water. So how simple is that? You throw a pot of water on the stove, you throw this in there, timer it for 5 minutes, walk away, drink coffee, do whatever you want for 5 minutes, come back, it's sterilized and ready to go next time. Now, menstrual cups, I do just want to say before I finish up on these can last you like years. So although this is a bit more expensive when you first initially buy it, usually they're sold in the range of like $10 to like $35 or so. But once you buy this one time, you can use this for years. I'm not exaggerating, years. It's great. Say that you typically wear tampons and a panty liner so you can kind of catch any excess that might come through. That is where period panties come in handy. And so what I have here is some Thinx period panties. There is a lace top. This is what the rest of them look like. You can see that the fabric is like nice and silky. These are super soft and very, very comfortable. This is the hipster pair from Thinx. These can hold 2 tampons worth of blood. Some people will actually wear these and they will just free bleed. So they're kind of just wearing these. They're not using a tampon or a pad or menstrual cup, they are just bleeding straight into these. And I think that if you have like a certain type of flow, you can do that. I could probably do that for like a light day. And if you have that kind of flow, it's fine. It is really absorbent and you don't feel like you're sitting in a puddle of blood. Now for me, I like to just wear these as my base underwear and then put a cloth pad on top of it. And then if for some reason it's been a few hours and I haven't gotten the chance to switch my cloth pad, these can go ahead and catch any excess. I also really love to wear these overnight primarily, especially on my medium and heavy days. Wearing them overnight is super, super helpful because even if I am wearing a large cloth pad, just because of the nature of laying down and gravity and like the sleeping positions that I lay in, these really help to catch anything excess that may not make it onto the cloth pad. Now these come in a few different designs, so I'm just going to show you. The hipster. This is the boy short. Here is the back. These are the high-waisted ones. And I really like this design because as you can see, the protection is like in front and in back, and then the sides are just lace. And so I really like these. I think these are beautiful. Go check out the Thinx website and you can get way more information there. Now let's talk about what else we have here. The first thing I want to show you is this little bag. It's called a wet bag, but it's not actually wet. It's just that you can put items which are damp or wet inside of it, and it will keep everything inside safely protected. Nothing will leak out. Now this brand is called Planetwise. So I'll show you the logo right there. And I really like the design on this, just gray with some arrows. Now with the top, you would open it up and you can put your cloth pads in there which have been used. So that can fit a bunch of cloth pads, and then I usually will put my dry cloth pads, which I haven't used yet, in this compartment right here. And so I actually have one right here. This is what the compartment looks like. It's just more of the gray. Now since these ones are dry and not used, I would just put it in this dry compartment. And I can usually fit like 2 or 3 in here if I need to, if I'm going to be out and about during the day. So that is my first thing. This is kind of a good like to-go bag, which I will throw in my bag and then take with me wherever I'm going. So this right here is my other quote-unquote wet bag. Again, it's not actually physically wet. It is the bag that can hold items which are wet and then keep the exterior dry. And so this holds all of my cloth pads throughout my cycle. When I'm not using them, I just store them in here because it's a very handy place and everything is centralized. Again, the brand is Planetwise, right there. It also has a nice strap. You could put this on a hook and hang it from a door. And I'm going to go ahead and open up this zipper. I've had all these items, by the way, for like a couple years now. No complaints at all. I love them. They're very durable and I use them all the time, every single cycle. Now when we open this up, I am going to go ahead and start to take out all of my cloth pads. And so I've accumulated quite the collection of different styles and different colors. Now this amount is usually more than enough for one cycle. And I usually will not have to wash them again during a cycle in order to extend their use. This amount is usually enough for me. Now I have accumulated these over time, and a couple of them I've even gotten as gifts. And so if you want to start off using cloth pads, I would highly recommend picking up like 5. And that way you have enough to last you a couple days. And then if needed, you can simply throw them in the wash and use them for a few more days. And then this is my bag right here. So it's huge, it's very big, like this is the size of my arm almost, and you can fit a lot. And so I really like this as I am Using my cloth pads, I'll typically leave them in here. I'll take a couple out each day, and then as I'm using them, I will just throw them in the laundry. Now, let's take a closer look at the actual cloth pads themselves. Now, I have gotten almost all of these from a family-owned, family-run company called Homestead Emporium, and they're on Etsy. You can also find like a bunch of other cloth pad brands on Etsy as well. They have tons of options on Etsy. What I like about Homestead Emporium is I kind of like these like almost like tie-dye colors that they have. They have a huge range of colors. They're constantly coming out with more colors, and they also have a huge range of fabrics. Now again, the upside of these is that you know the materials that these are being made out of. Typically they're made of organic materials. Now you might be thinking like, okay Megan, why is that an advantage over a disposable pad, for example? How is bleeding into a piece of cloth any different from bleeding into your underwear? And the answer is that each of these cloth pads has sewn into it a core, which is very, very absorbent. The outer cloth is super, super comfortable, and these are a much healthier alternative to disposable pads that again contain those materials which aren't being disclosed to us and can be affecting our bodies. I cannot stress enough how comfortable they are and how absorbent they are. To me, wearing one of these is even more comfortable than my normal underwear. So that really goes to show how soft they are and how comfortable they are. And these ones I like because of the way the snap is. You can kind of alternate which direction you wear the pads. So you can wear it this way, or you can undo the snap, and you can also snap it that way as well. So you can use the other side as well. So guys, this is my personal cloth pad stash. Again, I cannot say enough good things about these. I have been using cloth pads now for probably a year and a half or so. Very comfortable, highly absorbent, love the different colors. I feel like the variety of colors can really help you to like look forward to your period, because then you get to wear all these pretty items. And I don't know, something about it just makes me feel happy. Now this last thing that I want to share with you is not an actual period product per se, but it is something that I use a lot for self-care during my period, and this is raspberry leaf tea. When we take a look inside, this is what it looks like. Raspberry leaf tea is excellent for period care because it naturally contains magnesium, which is very, very helpful for treating cramps. The other big thing that I personally use it for is it helps to reduce my spotting. Oftentimes during my period, I will get a couple days of pink or brownish spotting after my actual flow ends when I'm not drinking raspberry leaf tea consistently. But when I am drinking raspberry leaf tea, like a few mugs a day during my period, it really, really helps to either reduce or eliminate the spotting that I see afterward. The great thing about it is that it's super, super tasty. It tastes like a very mild, light black tea. And it's not bitter. So this you can add some honey to, and you can drink it hot. I also, in the summer, love to have cold raspberry leaf tea and just make a big pitcher of it and just have some iced tea this way. It helps to tone the muscles of the uterus, and that can help to expel your menstrual flow a little bit faster. Now this raspberry leaf tea, as you can see, is loose leaf. And so I put it in a little strainer. I actually purchased this loose leaf tea off Amazon, and it comes in this huge, huge bag. And this one bag of loose leaf tea has probably lasted me more than a year. Now, if you are interested in checking out this loose leaf raspberry leaf tea and the strainer that you can use with it, I'm going to put links for those in my Amazon shop. Now, if you aren't familiar with my Amazon shop, just to give you guys a very quick rundown, my Amazon shop is a way that you guys can help to support my work and support my channel. I'm going to put the link in the description, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it is. So because of my following on my ASMR channel, which is separate from this one, I was accepted into the Amazon Influencers program. Having said that, I do have two different channels. So what I did was I just combined my two different channels on the Amazon shop. And so it kind of covers items from Fantastic Fertility as well as from Megan Whispers. And so when you go to my Amazon shop, you will see a variety of different items, but I'm going to put the links to that raspberry leaf tea as well as a strainer that you could use with it. And there you can also find many other products that relate to FAM and that I absolutely love and have experience with and that I want to share with you. Go ahead, link is in the description and go check it out. The really cool thing about it is that by using those links and by purchasing something through those links, you are not paying anything extra. So you are just paying what you would normally pay on Amazon to shop. But because you go through my link, I get a small commission through that. And so that goes to supporting my channel and to supporting my work. So that is it. You wouldn't pay anything extra. Very simple to use, and the link is in the description. So guys, that concludes my video for today about the period products that I use and love. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed, and let me know what topics you might want to hear about in the future. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about all kinds of things like periods, charting, FAM, ovulation, and all these different things. Now it's only the beginning, and so I'm very excited to bring some future content your way. So please subscribe and click that button below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.